been writing our stories for about a week now, and we're going to talk about writing an effective beginning. I know we've already started on our books, but we're going to go back and we're going to revise because some of our beginnings have been a little bit boring. So what we're going to talk about today is how to write one of those snappy beginnings that those really cool authors know how to do that hook you right into a book. You know how when you read that first page, you're like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. I really like this book, or I don't like this book because the beginning didn't really hook me. Okay? That's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to talk about effective story beginnings. So, you may already have a beginning to your story already written, but we're going to revise and see if we can make it better. Alright? So, let's take a look. We've got 4 types of beginnings that we are going to write. Alright, let's look at them first. A good beginning should grab the reader's attention. That's called a hook. Just think of a fish hook. Alright, you got me, okay? Alright, so the beginning, it should hook you. It should make you say, what's going to happen? I want to know more. And that's the way your story should be. When we read that first page, we should say, what's going to happen? I want to read more. Exactly. So, there are 4 things that we can do to write a good, effective beginning to a story. The first is an action. We put the main character in the setting doing something, or doing something interesting. It's an action. Alright? It's a verb, an action. Alright? Or we could have dialogue. We could have people talking to each other. Exactly. Have the main character say an exclamation, something that expresses a feeling, or creates worry, or raises the reader's interest and curiosity. They're talking to each other. We've been working on our choice menu when you get to do your own decision-making time. What have we been doing during our choice menu? What have we been writing? Plays. And those plays have people talking to each other. Guess what that talking to each other is called? Dialogue. So you've already been doing this. Alright? Alright, so, and the third one, a thought. Now, this one isn't actually them saying something. This is them thinking something. Excellent. Show what the main character is thinking or worrying about. A thought. And the last one is a sound. A relevant sound effect is a great attention-getting technique. Alright, well that's fine and dandy to talk about them, but let's do something. Skylar, you were in the school play, weren't you? So, will you be my actress today? Yeah? If you don't mind. I mean, if you do mind, I can get somebody else. Oh, okay, thank you for being willing. Will you stand up right here in the middle so all the eyes are on you? Excellent. Okay. All right, everybody else, you are going to be the audience. Remember what we do with our audience. We've been working on our group dynamic skills. We're going to keep our eyes on the speaker, or in this case, the actress. All right, so, Skylar, let's go through these 4 again. But this time, I want you to show us what we're going to do. We're going to create a quick beginning to a story, okay? We're going to write a story about Skylar. And we're going to make a quick, interesting, grab you right off the bat beginning to a story. Instead of just like, one day, Skylar stood in the middle of the room. That's boring. Let's get something exciting. So, Skylar, what I want you to do, I want you to do an action. Any action you want to. Anything you can think of. Any action. Oh my. Okay, so, what did Skylar do? She put her leg over her head. She contorted her body into a pretzel-like fashion that I'm glad Mr. Keith did not have to do. All right. So, she twisted. You just want to say she twisted?
No.
No? What do you want to say, Wallace? What do you want to say?
She converted?
You converted? I think you mean contorted.
Contorted.
Contorted? She contorted?
I don't know.
All right, she converted. That means she, well, we'll get into that later. All right. But yes, she put her foot over her head. She did gymnastics. Okay, let's use that word, contorted. Maybe we can learn a new word today. What does contorted mean? Does anybody know? It means to twist and turn your body into Have you ever seen an acrobat maybe twist their body?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what that's called. So let's write a cool beginning to a story using that word, okay? For example, Skylar contorted her body in order to win the gymnastics championship. See, look at that. She liked that. All right, well, think about that. Would that have been as exciting as just saying, Skylar was in the gymnastics tournament? Yay.
No.
She didn't do anything. No, she contorted her body. Ooh, a word I don't know? I like that. To win the gymnastics championship? Ooh, that sounds cool. Excellent. That is an excellent action. Okay, we're going to take that action, now that we know what the word contorted means. All right. Let's add dialogue. Let's go back, rewind. We're going to go back to the beginning of the story. And now we're going to add dialogue, something that Skylar says. Skylar, what is something that you might say if you were trying to win the gymnastics championship? You want that gold medal. What is it that you can say?
I'm a little nervous, but I think I'll get through it without breaking.
Love it. Instead of saying, Skylar stood on the mat, she was going to lift her foot over her head. Just think, right there at the beginning of the story. I'm a little nervous, but I think I can get through this without breaking, Skylar said. I like that. Skylar, that would be a fantastic beginning to your story. You hooked me right away. Get through what without breaking? What? Seriously? I want to read more of that story. Awesome. All right, so that's an action, contorting. We have started with contorting. I'm not going to attempt that. Dialogue, she said something. She said it out loud, she said it herself, and it got the story started right there. A thought. Now, a thought is something that is said in your head. Something you say to yourself. Or maybe another character is thinking that thing. So, Skylar, what is something that you might think? I'm going to try this, but I hope I don't break my leg.
Or since you're an athlete, kind of, maybe you could say, I wonder if you could get athlete's foot only if you're not an athlete.
Okay, maybe you're thinking about that. Does anybody else maybe have a thought that she might think? Anybody?
I hope I might win. I hope I win.
Okay, she might be thinking to herself, I hope I win this year. I didn't win last year. That would be a thought she could have. Think about it. Starting the story right there. Instead of a boring one day, Skylar, blah, blah, blah. Boom. Story starts. I hope I win this year. I hope win what? What is she talking about? What do you got, Kimmy?
Or I hope that I'm able to get through the gymnastics team and being able to get through the tournaments and being able to win.
Okay, there you go. I hope I'm able to get through this and win. I'm so nervous. She's thinking that to herself. I hope I'm able to get through this, Skylar thought. I didn't do so well last year. I remember when I fell down. A thought. Robbie, you had your hand up. I'll honor that.
Okay. Well, I hope my parents don't come onto the stage and embarrass me again like last year.
I hope my parents don't come on stage and embarrass me like last year, Skylar thought to herself. She hung her head low, hoping no one would see her. Fantastic. That is exactly what we're talking about. So, we've had an action, dialogue, a thought. Now let's look at a sound. A sound. Sometimes you can use onomatopoeia. Y'all been studying that in your regular class. But sometimes you can use a sound in order to start a story. What would be a good sound? I can think of a good sound right now, trying to lift your foot over your head. What do you say, Wallace?
Ow.
Okay, ow, that would be more dialogue, but you're on the right track. That would be more dialogue because that would be something she would say. Brandon?
Crunch because you might have broken a bone.
Crunch! Skylar's leg snapped in half as she tried to lift it over her head. And see, look what y'all are doing now. You're all talking about it. You want to know what happens next. We just wrote a good beginning to a story. What do you say, Preston? Never mind. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Logan?
Like she's trying to put her foot over her head and she's having trouble.
Okay. She could be grunting. Skylar could not get her foot over her head, and she had to in order to win the championship. Awesome job. Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about.
Wow. And
Okay.
the crowd said wow.
Okay, maybe the crowd roared with excitement as Skylar did the famous leg over her head move. Roared would be the sound. Excellent. A couple more.
Let's just say Skylar was able to put her foot over her head, but then it made like a little popping sound, and then it was stuck there. She
Okay,
couldn't-
so we would start with pop. There you go. You're hooked already. One more, quick.
Like when she put her foot over her head, like maybe people were cheering and clapping for her.
Okay, so clap, 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 clap. The audience cheered. Very good. All right, so everybody, we're all going to get a chance to be an actor right now, actor, actress. So please stand up out of your chair. All right. You can take a picture, that's fine. Our class journalist. All right. So, there are 4 ways that we can start a story. A good beginning to a story. We can have an action. Let's show it this way. Action. Everybody do this. And everybody say, action.
Action.
Excellent. So we can start our story with an action. We can also start our story with dialogue. Excellent. People are talking to each other.
I have a good dialogue.
Dialogue. So we can start our story with action or dialogue. Or the third one, a thought. Good, Josh. Thank you. A thought. A thought. So we can start our story with action, dialogue, thought, and the last one, a sound. Very good. These are 4 effective beginnings to a story. Use an
Action.
Dialogue.
Thought. Sound.
excellent. Action, dialogue, thought, or sound. Have a seat, please. Let's look at a few quick examples. This one's from the BFG. Here is an action, just so we understand. Under the blanket, Sophie waited. Ooh, what's the action? Waiting. Very good. After a minute or so, she lifted the corner of the blanket and peeped out. For the second time that night, her blood froze to ice and she wanted to scream, but no sound came out. Action. She's waiting. She's lifting. She's peeping. She's screaming, but no sound. That's a story I want to read. And that's a story you can check out. It's the BFG by Roald Dahl. It is in our school library right now.
BFG.
The BFG, Big Friendly Giant.
I've read it.
Oh, you have? You like it?
It's a good book.
Awesome. Here's another one from the BFG. Dialogue. We've absolutely got to stop them. How does this start out?
We absolutely
To stop. What Sophie is
talking.
talking. She's talking with dialogue. She's saying something. Sophie cried, "Put me back in your pocket, quick, and we'll chase after them and warn everyone in England that they're coming." Warn? Somebody's coming? What?
Who's coming?
Exactly. This is the beginning to one of the chapters. So even a chapter needs a good beginning in order to keep you reading the book.
And you would probably wonder why they're in England.
Exactly. That is also from the BFG.
Who?
And you probably wonder who's coming.
Yeah, that's what I'm at. That's what I'm wondering. Who's coming?
A thought. Oh, there we go. Life was going along okay when my mother and father dropped the news. This is the main character thinking to himself. He didn't start off one day, blah, blah, blah. Life was going okay until my mother and father dropped the news, he was thinking to himself. Bam, just like that. We have something wonderful to tell you, Peter. Mom said before dinner she was slicing carrots into the salad bowl. I grabbed one. What is it? I asked. And that is from Super Fudge by Judy Blume. Tales of Fourth Grade Nothing. Anybody ever read that? Yes.
I want to know what
Yes,
she's
good.
thinking. Or what she's talking about.
Or a sound. Mario heard the sound too. He stood up and listened intently. The noise of the shuttle rattled off into silence. From the streets above came the quiet murmur of traffic. There was noise of rustling, nothingness in the station. Still Mario listened to catch the strange sound, and there it came again.
Maybe you would wonder who else heard it.
Exactly, maybe who else heard it? What's going on? That's from the Cricket in Times Square.
I've read this one.
You read that one too?
He's
Our resident book reader. Good job.
I haven't read it all, but I'm planning on going
All right.
to read it. I've read it a little bit.
So, we know that we can start a story with an action, dialogue, thought, or a sound. Exactly. So, and we've looked at a few examples. Now let's see if you can come up with what they're using. We'll go through this quickly. Is this an action, dialogue, thought, or sound? This is from James and the Giant Peach. You read that one?
I've read it. Yeah, I've read it. It's blowing up a little bit.
Alright, so here we go.
That was what I did reading for.
Oh, sweet. Oh, good. Then you'll know this one. Wyatt's... Yes, ma'am, before we start. Oh, y'all are just saying you've read it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've read it.
Wyatt's absolutely brilliant, cried the old green grasshopper when James had explained his plan. The boy's a genius, the centipede announced. Now I can keep my boots on after all. What do you think, Carmen? I saw that hand.
Dialogue.
You think that's dialogue? Thumbs up if you agree. Thumbs down if you disagree. Thumbs up if you agree, thumbs down if you disagree. Good. Thumbs up, yes. That is dialogue. It started with the grasshopper talking. Excellent. Dialogue. There you go. All right, what about this one? As Maggie looked at Tucker, who continued to watch the television cartoons placidly, all she could think was, this is not the way things were supposed to happen. What do you think, Sierra? Thought. Thumbs up if you agree. Thumbs down if you disagree. Good, everybody. Okay, Gabe, you said thumbs down. Which one do you think it is?
thought it was action.
Okay, I'll give you that because it does say she looked. But in this case, this one's going to be a thought because what is she doing? She is thinking this to herself. But yeah, Gabe, I'll give you action because it did say look. You're right.
Maybe it said he was watching.
Right. But that was more of a thought. Poppy searched desperately for somewhere to hide. Glitter Creek ran behind. Before her stood Dimwood Forest. There was little choice. Okay. That is an action. Thumbs up if you agree. Thumbs down if you disagree. Are you sure? Good. It was an action. You're right. Baroom, 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 bribbity, 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 bribbity. Good. His dad had the pickup going. He could get up now. Everybody, that's easy. That is a sound. Exactly. Good.
You can tell just how they started off.
All right. So you've seen, you know what we're doing. You've seen some examples. You've figured out some examples on your own. Now let's actually apply this. Let's make our own beginning. Let's see what we can do. Here's a boring beginning. One sunny day, I decided to go to the lake. It was a Saturday, and I didn't have much else to do. Maybe I could go for a swim. Boring. Another guy went to sleep down there. It is boring.
Very.
No, that is boring. We want to make that much better. One sunny day, I decided to go to the lake. It was a Saturday, and I didn't have much else to do. maybe I could go for a swim. Real quick, does anybody have a revision to this? Either use an action, dialogue, thought, or sound. All right? Preston?
One day I decided to go to the lake. But boom, I hit a log.
Okay, okay. Let's revise that a little bit. One day I decided to go to the lake. Boom, I hit a log. What could we start out with instead of one day? Let's change that up. What was that? Boom. Let's just move that sentence to the beginning. Boom, I hit a log while I was canoeing. It was not my best day at the lake.
And I lost my fish that I had caught.
What you got?
Splish splash. It was a Saturday and I didn't have nothing else to do, so I got with some of my friends and we decided to go for a swim in the lake.
Splish splash. It was Saturday and I didn't have anything. Good. Action, dialogue, thought, sound.
Friday night. Me and my friends were watching a scary movie and it scared us, so we all screamed.
Is that a lake story?
What about this one? That was a good beginning to a story. Friday night, my friends and I were watching a scary movie. That's a good beginning, but we're trying to revise this one, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to focus on this one. Let's take one more. Wallace?
On a Saturday night, I was thinking how it would feel to go to the park to go swimming. So I went swimming with 2 friends.
Okay, we can revise that a little bit. Let's try and get rid of on a Saturday night. But let's start it with,
Hey, thought.
let's start it with, because you said thinking, didn't you? Okay, so let's try starting that with a thought.
Okay. I thought if it was sunny enough for us to go out for the lake.
Okay, what about this? It sure is a nice day, I thought to myself. Maybe I could go to the lake for a swim. Yeah, starting it with the good, Wallace. Awesome. I like that. All right, here's some. I dove into the cool water and floated there for a while. But what was that? Something strange caught my eye. That is an action, dove, and a question. Sometimes you can combine the two.
It makes me want to read more.
It does make me want to read more. Oh, I like that. What caught his eye? Well, there you go.
That's what makes me want to read more.
What about this one? What a great day to be at the lake, I yelled. What's that? Dialogue. I yelled as I jumped off the dock. What's that?
Jump, that's an
It's action. There you go. You got dialogue and an action. Ah-woo, ah-woo. A strange sound filled the air. If only I could swim all the way to the island, I could find out what was making that noise. Ah-woo, ah-woo, that's a sound. And if only I could swim to the island, that's a thought. Exactly.
And it makes you kind of think, like, would he do something to get to the island?
Right.
Like,
What is he going to do?
do?
Yes, swimming would be an action. Okay. So now it is your turn. So if you will, please take about 5 seconds and get back in your group. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. 5, 4, 3, 2, no. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get up and move around the room in just a moment. And we are going to revise some bad beginnings. I've got some boring beginnings of a story written down on some paper. And as a group, remember we were working on our group dynamics. As a group, you are going to use your creative writing skills and you are going to come up with your own revision as a group. Now, I'm not saying that Kimmy is going to write one thing and the other two are just going to sit there. I'm sorry. I was looking at Kimmy. I'm so sorry, Selena. So sorry. I'm not saying Selena, who is awesome, by the way, Selena is not going to just write and the other two are just going to sit there. No, no, no. Y'all are going to collaborate and talk. And then Selena can write. And then when they go to the next group, it'll be Josh's turn to write. And they're going to collaborate. And then Josh is going to write. And then they're going to go to the next group, and Logan is going to write, but only after they collaborate and figure out what they're going to write. Group dynamic skills. Remember, use those negotiation skills to figure out who's going to write first, if you can't figure that out. Everybody's going to get a turn. It just depends on when you get to, okay? All right, so let's see, making sure we figured out. Using our creative writing skills, group dynamics, use the negotiation skills we've been talking about. Stay on task. We're working on that. All right? All right. So, I'm not going to read these out loud just yet. I'm going to let it be a surprise. But I'm going to lay one bad beginning at your table. Feel free to read it, not out loud, just to your group. Here's y'all's boring beginning.
Boring.
And here is y'all's boring beginning.
Wait, we have to write one for each of them.
Which one do you want to do first?
Hocus pocus.
Everybody focus.
All right. Fast journalists taking pictures, thank you. All right, thank y'all for paying attention. Good job. All right, here's what we're going to do. In each group, I'm going to shout out either action, thought, dialogue, or sound. And that's the one that you are going to write. For example, if I say action, everybody is going to write under the action. Okay? You got to come up with an action. If I say dialogue, you're going to come up with dialogue. Okay? So you never know which one you're going to have to write. So be prepared. All right? Remember, we're working as a group. Ooh, let me get your Sharpies. Let's use negotiation skills to see who's going to write first. Remember, ask, don't tell.
Yes.
All right, so here we go. Read your boring beginning. Make sure you have your writer for the first section. Revise this bad, boring beginning using a thought. Thought.
About what happened.
Thoughts.
I don't know what I have to make strange.
Thought. Make sure that you have talked to your group first.
Maybe I could call my friends, but
They might be asleep.
yeah, but it was real late. It was real late one night. Maybe I could call my friends. I thought, but they were probably asleep by now.
I thought, and then
I wonder what went wrong. She thought. Okay, but that would be dialogue. If it was dialogue, that would be perfect. Dialogue is when you say it out loud.
I know, but what are we supposed to do?
We're doing thought.
Oh, thought.
Yeah, collaborate and think about thought.
It's a little small. Just
and small. She turned to.
Like, I wonder what.
Thinking that if it's the boy or girl or whatever, they could be like, maybe it's like my friends. I was over that late tonight, but they're probably asleep.
Okay, how about that? I can't believe I'm locked out of my house again, she thought. Maybe I could call my friends, but it is really late. Remember, you gotta come up with what they're thinking.
Did you say action after?
No, just thought. You're only doing thoughts.
What did you say?
Oh, it was. I got tonight. I got locked out of my house.
Why is a bear chasing me? It's not a bear chasing
That's a good one. That is excellent. Why this bear is chasing me, I wondered, as I climbed the tree to safety. Oh, sorry. You can you can put that if you want, but it's your story.
Swallow these bigger words. Or we can just cross it out, put like a little.
We're not gonna worry about spelling right now.
We don't have any spells.
We can write more.
Just like always. I wonder what we're doing. Like always.
Still, he can write more. I wonder how there's.
He says action or dialogue.
Really good for you.
I'll do action.
You got about 20 more seconds. About 20 more seconds. Stop it right there. That's a good beginning. Okay, that's fine. Right, but you're supposed to revise this beginning. You're not asking a thought about. Okay, think of it. Once those are going. Okay, what might Sarah think? What might Sarah think? I mean, she's visiting a wizard who lives in a little house. What might she think? What's that? If you were like wandering in the forest and all of a sudden you saw a little house, what would you think? You would, so the first thing you would think is a wizard.
Hey, what's her name?
What was that? I wonder who lives in there, Sarah thought to herself. I've never seen that little house before. That's what we're talking about with thought. Oh, okay. So try one more time. I mean, that's a great question, but we're not questioning it, we're revising it. It's a no.
What?
Here, we're done.
Hey, Preston. I wonder what.
Very good. Very good.
It says action. I'll do action.
If he says sound, I gotta do it.
Hocus pocus.
Everybody focus.
Leave your Sharpie where it is. Safely, carefully, without tripping over your chairs. Rotate one station. I'll give you a moment to read your prompt. You are going to write dialogue. Dialogue this time. Dialogue. Dialogue this time. Dialogue this time. Dialogue this time.
What was dialogue?
You could put that up. Ron was saying. Or you could put dialogue. Make sure you've talked to your group members. Talk to your group members. Wallace, don't you dare write without talking to your group members first.
No, don't say please.
Have y'all read this yet?
At her house, what she wondered if she could go to
Alright, so think about this. What happened? What's
She
happened?
got locked out of their house.
Okay, she got locked out of the house. If you got locked out of your house, what's something you might say?
Oh no.
Is that something somebody says? And when you talk, that is dialogue. So, I'm gonna awkward moonwalk out of here now while y'all write that down.
What are we supposed to make? Dialogues and a dialogue. No, we should make a dialogue. Hello. Okay. Good evening.
Quotation mark.
The wizard says, "Come with me, I'll show you." No. Like, hello. You do like
No,
hello.
yeah, not parentheses,
And then you
quotation
said,
mark.
"Oh,
Like
didn't
that.
see you there. Good morning." To you, and then like, I don't know, you can say something, and then like put on bombs, and then it turns out it's an animal.
Very good. Yes, somebody's talking. Good. Yes.
Yeah, I know, but we can both have, we can have dialogue and, you know that, right? Just write something.
So you just want to write something. Something, so we're just going to write.
So you can do like
For real, kids,
Hocus
stop.
pocus.
Everybody focus.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Before we move, I'd like to hear some of these. Dialogue. Let me hear what y'all wrote.
We didn't get one.
Oh, y'all haven't got one yet? Okay, y'all still. Let me hear what y'all wrote.
I want to do a science experiment, Mom. I said loudly.
I want to do a science experiment, Mom, I said loudly. And that's about a science experiment that is going to go wrong and something's going to happen. But it starts at the beginning. I want to do a science experiment, Mom, I said loudly. Is that a good use of dialogue?
Yeah.
Yes, because thumbs up if you think so. Good, I think so too. Awesome, good job. What about over here? This is about being chased by a bear.
I'm getting chased by a bear and it's really scary. Somebody help me.
I'm getting chased by a bear and it's really scary. Somebody help me. If that were the beginning of a story, I'd keep reading. Because if somebody's being chased by a bear and they're screaming, I want to know what happens. Why in the world is this person getting chased by a bear? There you go. What about over here? This is about being locked out of your house.
Oh no, I got locked out of my house.
Oh no, I got locked out of my house. Well, what's going to happen? Excellent beginning to a story. Alright, you see, y'all are starting to get it. Alright, give you a few more seconds to get a dialogue over there, and then we'll move and we'll do another one.
We just told you a lot.
Okay, so what's happening?
Once there was a girl named Sarah, once there was a wizard who lived in her house. And of course, he changed her into
Okay, so you're walking around in the forest, and you see a little house in the forest. What are you going to say? Ooh, I wonder who lives here, Sarah said. I think I'll go in and see. All you got to do is start someone talking. Dialogue. Or maybe you could say it from the point of view of the wizard. I hope that young girl Sarah doesn't show up again today, the evil wizard said, or I'll turn her into a frog. Come up with your own dialogue.
A frog bearing is funny. A strange sort of animal. Frog bearing.
Wonder who lives there, Sarah said. I think I'll go explore.
Good word. I like that. Explore.
I'm not raised this.
All right. Now that you've all had a time to go around and we've shared action, we've shared thought, we've shared dialogue, let's share our last one. Let's share sound. What your group collaborated on. Sierra, will you be the spokesperson for your group?
Boom, crash. The volcano I made last week exploded. The judge was not impressed.
Excellent. Boom, crash. Started with the sound. Lindy, haven't heard from you. Will you be our spokesperson for your group?
Poof, roof, roof, roof. The wizard changed me into a dog. I knew I shouldn't have come here today.
Poof, woof, woof, woof. The wizard changed me into a dog. I knew I shouldn't have come here today. That's a good beginning. I want to read more of that. Logan, will you read yours, please? I haven't heard from you today.
Crash. Lightning struck beside my foot. Why was I locked out of my house today?
Excellent job. Oh, and while we were over here, Josh opened up a book and he said, Mr. Keith, look, they started this book with a thought. And I thought that was really cool, Josh. That was really good. Way to apply that. All right. And Gabe, will you read sound for us, please?
Crunch, crunch, crunch. I was running through the forest as fast as I could. A bear saw was chasing it. It was roaring loudly. Roar, roar, roar.
Crunch, crunch. I was running through the forest as fast as I could. A bear was chasing me. Roar, roar, roar. I love it. Excellent job. All right. So, what we're about to do, we're going to get out our stories that we've been working on. We're going to take a look at the beginnings of our book, maybe even the beginnings of some of our pages that we've been writing, and we're going to revise them. Now remember, there's one of 4 ways. Let's remember. There are 4 things that we can use in order to revise the beginning of our story. We can use, and do this with me, we can use an
Action. Dialogue. Think.
or
Thought. Sound.
One more time.
Action. Dialogue. Thought. Sound.
Excellent job. Go to your folders, get out your stories, and let's start revising.
Hey there.